You're listening to The Endless Party with your hosts,
Megan Elijah Armstrong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Endless Party. We are so glad you are here with us. Aren't we, Meg?
Yes, Elijah, we are.
Okay. So today, as from the title, it suggests the potential party. So what does that mean exactly? Well, I will tell you what
Thanks,
this means.
Elijah, for filling us in.
So there's actually a story that I want to share really quick with all of you. And it's something that my professor did, I think it was my sophomore, maybe my junior year of college. And he held up an acorn. And he asked everybody in the class, he's like, what do you see? And obviously everybody's like, a seed, an acorn, all the things,
I
right?
have never heard this story.
Well, I'm telling you the story
This
now.
is cool.
It's a good story. I was actually going to use this for a couple of my own speeches eventually.
Huh.
But anyway, so he held up this acorn, and everybody had to give an answer. And he wrote every answer on the board, and not one single person wrote the answer that he wrote at the end. And he said, do you know what I see? And then everybody's like, no. He said, potential. And it just kind of hits you, right? Because an acorn comes from, is it oak?
I think it's an oak tree.
A massive oak tree. And oak trees can be humongous, right? And so it was just this cool concept because he basically related it back to each of us as our own individual person. He's like, that's what all of you are. He's like, potential. And that's what we really want to express today is just how much potential each and every one of us has. And not only just as human beings, but I want to take it even a step further and say as children of God.
Yes.
Right? Because that's where our divine potential truly comes from. And that's why we really have no limits, because we are all children of God.
Absolutely. I think that potential is one of the most exciting attributes that every human being possesses. It's just so exciting to, I don't know, just look around and see all the different people, but then look deeper and see all the potential that each one of us has for good.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it just is so exciting to me that each one of us does have a limitless potential to become something extraordinary. And when you hone in and believe in this potential, you just have such a capacity to do good and help others, as and change the world. And I think this is so exciting too, because one of the most exciting things that I've noticed that people, I guess, get excited about, but it's young athletes.
Yeah.
And when coaches are like, this kid has a lot of potential, and it's always really exciting. And then when that individual lives up to their potential, taps in and believes in what their coach sees, then those are the people that we hear about. Those are the athletes and the individuals who, become the great leaders and people in this world.
Well, it's kind of cool that you even say this, right? Like Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time. And you can debate this whether you want to or not, but the fact is he is the greatest basketball player of all time. So he got cut. I can't remember what year it was, but I think he got cut from his high school team, varsity. He got cut.
Really?
Yeah, at some point in his career. I can't remember if it was freshman, sophomore, junior, but he got cut from the team, and it just goes to show you, right? That's how much potential each and every one of us has. He got cut from his basketball team. And then he went on to become the greatest basketball player of all time, right? That's what's incredible about it. And he recognized his potential, even though somebody else was basically like, you're no good. Even though somebody came to him and said, you're garbage, you're lesser than, you don't deserve to be here. He took it and said, you know what, forget you. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And because he believed in himself, and believed in his potential, he went on to become the greatest. And that's what's so cool about each and every one of us. And I think a lot of times me and Meg, as well as everybody, right, faces that negativity. And unfortunately, this is just a side note, unfortunately that negativity usually comes from the people who say they love you the most.
Yes.
And it's really sad.
It is really
It's
sad.
really disheartening, because I can honestly tell you that the people that love me the most have also been the ones who have belittled and cut me down more than any other person on this earth.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And there was also one that has also built me up more than any other person on the earth. So I would say, if you do truly love somebody, be that one person for them that always builds them up, that always sees their potential and believes in them. Because it makes a mountain of a difference if you just have one person in your corner. But anyway, so kind of back to this understanding is like, even through the negativity, the pitfalls, everything else, like, that's what's going to make you even live up to your potential more fully, because you had to face the adversity, because you had to face the hardships, and because you had to believe in yourself regardless of the odds.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's so interesting that the challenges and the pitfalls really do unleash and give us the opportunity to rise up to our full potential. And that's usually, it's in those circumstances that we like can grow and live up to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, it was kind of cool that you even mentioned that, because there's this poem. It's a huge long poem, but there's this portion that I loved as when I was younger in high school, and it says, "Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees." And that really can go hand in hand with your own potential, right? As you start to unlock your own God-given potential, you are going to face more criticism and negativity than you've ever faced in your entire life. It's just a given. You're going to win fake friends and true enemies the more successful you become, right? And so just recognize that if it is hard and so many people are against you,
Probably right.
it's probably right.
You're probably doing
You're probably
something
on the right
awesome.
path, right? Because the stronger the wind, the stronger the trees. And that's what you're building, right? You're that small acorn, to go back to this metaphor, you're that small acorn that truly believes in your potential, that is building their foundation to be a beautiful oak tree in the future.
It's just so cool. I think, so something that's so exciting, but also in contrast is so saddening, is we all know those individuals who have, you know, lived great or good lives, but like have not lived up to their full potential, and it's just so saddening to me.
Oh, it's terrible.
I think it's one of the worst things to see in a person.
Their deathbed, they have regrets of what they could have been.
Yes, because it finally comes back to them. They're like, wait a second, I had, you know, I could have, you know, done this or done that, and you know, I don't know. They just didn't live up to their potential.
Absolutely. There was something I wrote into my journal the other day, and I don't remember if it was a quote or who it was from, or whether this was just an original thought. If it was, I was very impressed with myself.
Okay.
If it's not, then I need to give credit where credit is due, for sure. But what this basically said, it was like, I just had this thought that it was like, you could be more than you are. Right? And it's like, don't get me wrong, we've talked about this in the past. Appreciate where you are and appreciate how far you've come, but recognize that you can be more than you are. And I then, speaking of what we're talking about right now, I never want to be on my deathbed and think to myself, you could have been more than you are. Right? Because that is the biggest regret any single person could have in their life, is just being on your deathbed. There's Les Brown talks about this. He's a phenomenal speaker, and one of the things that he talks about, he's like, I want you all to imagine you're on your deathbed at the hospital, and he's like, and hundreds of dreams come to you, but they all come in the form of people. And he says, and they all come and start shouting at you, and they say, we came to you because only you could have brought us to life, but now we have to die with you. And it's that's what's crazy, right? Is we all have this infinite potential, and if we don't take advantage of it on a daily basis, we will live with those regrets and think to ourselves, we could have been more than we are.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's really sad to think about, but it might spur you to step up your game,
cool,
right?
I'm like,
no,
that's
I
cool
agree.
for me to,
I agree. It's
think
so
about,
cool,
right?
Oh,
I need to think through this, you know.
You just need to be better.
Yes,
I want to
it's sad,
be more.
but also
you know?
I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I don't want to do that. Let me think through this.
No,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm on the same page.
I think something else I just wanted to share in this podcast was being the parents of, I think, okay, let me just start over. New babies are really exciting.
They're really
always.
exciting.
And
folding their tiny baby clothes.
Yes.
Like getting their nice pink dressers ready. If we could show you pictures, we totally would. Maybe you can't. Maybe we will on our website one of these days. But
I know we should.
It's just so exciting.
It has been so exciting for us to prepare for these new babies, but it's not just us. Like, I feel like
Everyone.
on social media or just like everywhere, there's just this like baby craze where everybody is just so excited about bringing new life to this world. And I think one of the reasons why is because you welcome this new human being into this world. And what is so exciting? It's their potential.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Isn't that what
absolutely.
we're all excited about? Why we're
Yeah.
excited to welcome a new person? Because it's this potential that there's going to be this new human being on earth who comes so perfect. And they have the capacity to grow.
They're also this blank slate.
Yes.
Right? Like, you can help them. And I say help them because it's like, we definitely want to shape and mold our kids into good people.
Yes.
But we want to help them unlock their own potential.
And believe in who they really are.
Yeah.
And so it's been so exciting for us just to, I don't know, be parents of these twin girls because, we get to... I don't know, we just get to be around these new people.
Yeah.
And we get to teach them who they are, and we get to teach them to aspire for greatness. And I think we're just so excited to watch them live up to their full potential and become the people that we believe they can become.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's humbling and yet gratifying, and it's indescribable. For those of you that are parents, like, you fully understand what we're expressing here. But for those of you that aren't, that might be able to someday, or we hope you have the opportunity to raise children someday. But it is such a profound experience because not only does it help you, like, this is what's crazy about it. It helps you be a better person and strive to live up to your potential, because you're thinking the whole time, like, I have to be the best I can for this them. Little one, right?
Yes.
There's this poem, it's called Little Eyes Upon You, and every parent needs to have it on hand at all times, because basically the whole poem goes through, and it's a beautiful poem, but it just says, like, there are little eyes upon you, and they're watching night and day. There are little ears that quickly take in every word that you say, and then eventually it gets down to the last phrase, and it's like, eventually this little boy is going to do everything you do and be patterned exactly the way that you were patterned. And so that's what's so humbling about this experience. It's like, if you goof up as a parent, and it's inevitable, of course it is, and luckily there's forgiveness, and hopefully our kids can forgive, but it's also very gratifying because on the things that you do right, like, they get to do right.
Yes.
It's cool because that there's that song. What's the song? It's a country song.
Oh, it's Watching You.
Yeah, it's Watching You, right?
I think.
And then so the dad cusses. He's like, started with an S.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And his son said it, and he's like, I've been watching you, Dad. And his dad's like, crud.
He's like, where did you learn this word? And he's like, well,
I've
been
you,
watching
Dad.
you. You taught me. I heard you say it.
And then it goes to the flip side, and then he tucks his little boy in.
And he was
praying out loud, right? And he was like, where'd you learn to pray like that? And he's like, Dad, I've been watching you.
Oh, it's so
and it's
cool.
like,
it gives you the chills.
It does give you the chills. It makes me cry almost every single time. Because it just makes you think about what you want your kids to be able to witness and what you want your kids to be able to hear. And it's like, I hope that they see Dad constantly exercising and working on himself, and as well as Mom, and like praying together.
We hope they see us living
fun.
up to our potential, so that they will live up to theirs.
So they in turn do the same thing.
Isn't that what you're trying to express?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's so cool too. By you living up to your potential, you can be the example for countless others to bet on themselves, to face their fears and their doubts, and to like recognize that power that they have within inside themselves.
Yeah, and that's what's so profound about it, right? It's honestly this endless cycle
Yes.
You know, the more that we help them unlock their potential, the more we unlock our potential, and like vice versa, right? So it's pretty profound, and like we couldn't express our gratitude more because of how grateful we are just to have this opportunity to be parents and to help these little girls grow, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I wanted to end with an example of someone who we've watched kind of start to find their
absolutely.
potential. And we're not going to name names, but there's how do I go about this?
No,
Maybe
absolutely. So there's this young lady, and
she's amazing.
She's incredible. And we've had the opportunity to be a part of her lives for
a while.
Well, yeah, for a while now. And it's been I'm trying to think of the word. It's been gratifying as well as just like enlightening and inspiring to just see
the transformation
right
inside herself.
Everything that she's implementing on a daily basis is helping her to truly live up to her potential, and we see it every single day, and it's so awesome because then it, like I said, it just is this endless cycle. Like it just makes you want to be better.
Yes.
You know, and she has so many great attributes, and they're just continuing to get better.
Yeah, and it's just been so exciting to watch just her start to believe in herself and believe in her capacities, you know, to do great things with her life. And it's been so cool to watch her plans change for the better, and just the way she holds herself and treats others and just lives. It's been so cool.
No, it has been so, like I said, inspiring, motivating, all the things, you know, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all I want to share today.
No, I agree. So in closing, just remember that acorn. We were actually given an acorn that day.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was cool. So if we could give you an acorn, we totally would. But just remember your divine potential and recognize. Oh, I guess I wanted to say this one last thing.
Yes.
Just so that we mentioned it, right? It's just this understanding that obviously we're Christians.
Oh yeah, how
right?
did we forget about this?
But the biggest way that you can unlock your true potential is becoming closer to Christ.
Yes.
Because he is the perfect example of someone who lived up to their potential.
Yes.
Right? And so just recognizing that the closer you become to him, the more you become like him. And if we all emulated the example of Jesus Christ, we would all live up to our full potential.
And become the best people we could be.
Yeah.
And impact the world.
Like the way he did.
The way that
right?
he did. The way he still does.
Yeah, every single day.
It's been 2023 years and he still is the most influential person
on the earth. Yeah.
So cool.
So, in closing, just recognize your divine potential.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
You've been listening to The Endless Party. Please feel free to join us over at our website, theendlessparty.com, for more of our content. Also, we would love to hear from you. Leave some comments and let us know what you're interested in us talking about.
Seriously, like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, whatever it is the platform says to do, so that we can keep partying together.